Coming up, the climate activists who organized the Iowa City climate strike stopped in the newsroom for an exclusive interview. And later, the Tippy College of Business is celebrating 20 years of one of its most influential programs.
Now, I'm back, but the question is, will Iowa football bounce back this weekend? I've got a pregame show for you in just a few minutes.
Despite my best efforts, the fall weather has kept on trucking, so I'm here to make sure you're prepared for today and the next 5.
All that and more coming up on this Friday morning edition of DITV News. Don't go anywhere. DITV News starts right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm John Chenoweth. We met with 3 young climate activists who helped set up the climate rally that Greta Thunberg spoke at. Here's what they had to say.
She has followed our Twitter account for quite some time, and we've been interacting with her through that. So she DM'd us, asked if we were striking on Friday, and then asked if she could join.
Well, our focus first was on high school and middle schools, and now it's on the University of Iowa. So we wanted it to be more of a public thing because we were also calling out the president of Iowa.
She actually didn't necessarily come for herself. She came to give us attention so that people would be aware of our cause, and so that's why she came to our climate strike.
Well, so far we've been pretty successful with the city council and the school board, so our main focus now is seeing the power plant get taken down.
We have passed a climate initiative through Iowa City to start retrofitting buildings, requiring that all new buildings have renewable energy, clean transportation as well.
When asked who they would want to come speak at Iowa City next, they said Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Now, honestly, it's been a little chilly lately. I don't know if I want to get used to this cold weather yet. Hopefully, Cadell can give us some good news in the weather studio. Cadell, what do you have for us today?
Well, I'm a major warm weather fan, so it's not looking too good for us. We're starting off today with a freeze warning, which means sub-freezing temperatures are imminent. It's not looking good. Friday morning, we're starting off cloudy today. If you can't see outside, we're in the mid-40s, lower 40s. Those temps are going to get even worse looking into tonight. High 20s. Not good. Freeze warning. It's not going to be fun, so that's a bird chilly for me, folks. Looking ahead in the extended forecast, this is going to be a dress like an author vibe forecast. On Saturday, temperatures hovering between the low 50s and upper 30s. As you can see, that trend of cooling continues into Sunday, likely somewhere between the low 50s again and mid 30s. As far as Monday and Tuesday, I'm just hoping it warms up some, which with my luck so far won't happen. I hope you like football served cold. John, back to you.
Thanks, Cadell. Another week of Hawkeye football means another kid captain. This week's kid captain is 8-year-old Gabby Yoder. Yoder has her first open heart surgery a few days after birth at university hospitals and clinics. The doctors discovered that Gabby has pulmonary arteria and hip cleft right heart because of this condition. Gabby's heart only works on one side. Gabby has become a favorite around UIHC and loves to have fun with other children there. She's incredibly excited to be on the field on Saturday and has her own trade-in cards to give her fans in the stands. Now we're looking forward to that obviously tomorrow. Now the Tippy College of Business Institute for International Business is celebrating 20 years of service and leadership in global business education and outreach. IIB is an international business consulting service made up of UI students who help small and medium-sized Iowa companies. The reception started out with cocktails and networking. After networking, the reception featured remarks from UI President Bruce Harold, Tippy Dean Sarah Gardiel, and IIB Director Demi Doreska. This was followed by a short award ceremony to recognize past directors William Albrecht and Terry Bowles, as well as IIB supporter, the late Richard Montross. Now, obviously, last week was a pretty depressing.
How do we bring the world to us? How do we make sure that we're not just sitting out in cornfields in Iowa talking about international business? How do we bring the world to us?
Last week was a pretty depressing loss for Iowa football, I'm not going to lie. I'm just hoping Lucy can maybe give me some hope in Iowa football. Let's toss it over to the sports studio.
John, I'm trying to give you some hope, so welcome to my pregame show. I am your normal host, Lucy Rodine. We've got a big game this weekend, so we don't have time to waste explaining why I wasn't here. Iowa saw their undefeated record slip away, or rather get sacked against Michigan. The Hawks fell 10-3 on the road to Ann Arbor last weekend, and it was an ugly one. Iowa finished with 1 net rushing yard, and Nate Stanley was sacked not 1, not 2, but 8 times. But the big issue with the Michigan game is that Penn State's defense looks a lot like Michigan's, and well, we all know how that story ended.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Penn State is very talented defensive line and linebackers as well. So we're going to have to come ready to play. And seeing, I guess, that pace that Michigan played at, I guess, helped us in a way. But like I said, you know, we just need to be ready to go this week.
They got a really good defense, and their defensive line really sticks out. They're really big, physical, and fast. They do a good job of getting after quarterbacks. I saw last week they had a lot of success getting to the quarterback, and they just bring different blitzes and things like that.
Michigan had 8 sacks against Iowa. Penn State had 10 against Purdue, so it's going to be pretty rough. But Penn State has been one of Iowa's most frequent divisional crossovers since conference realignment. But the Hawks haven't been able to beat Penn State since 2010. But the last few years, it's been a competitive series with the game coming down to just 1 or 2 plays, but they have not gone in Iowa's favor.
The past couple games, it's come down to the wire, so we know that if we just go in the game with a little hungrier, better mentality, execute better, we can win this one.
You know, I think just that we're right there. We just need to capitalize on maybe 1 or 2 more plays. We had Coach Tom Moore come in and speak to us last year before the Wisconsin game, and his message was, over the course of the game, it really comes down to maybe 4 or 5 plays that make the difference in the game, but you never know which plays those are. Really just in the moment capitalize on all those opportunities that we have. That's something that we didn't do the last 2 times we played these guys.
But possibly Iowa's biggest advantage this game is that it's a night game under the lights in Kinnick, and the Hawks are rocking some sick alternate uniforms. The boys in black and gold are actually just going to be the boys in gold, but the crowd will be striped, and there's no doubt it's going to be the best crowd Kinnick sees all year. I mean, if this video doesn't get you hype, if the Hawk doesn't get you hype, I don't know what will.
Yeah, I mean, I heard there's a stat about under the lights in Kinnick, and just with the fans and the atmosphere, being able to come back after a hard road game, it's going to be good for us just to play in front of our fans to get that extra boost that we need.
It's going to be amazing. I feel like the crowd's going to be into the game the whole game, and we're just going to have a lot of fun. Given that the crowd's going to be into it, the players going to be into it, it's going to be a wild game.
Davion Nixon also told me that he looks good in yellow, so he's excited for this one. So here's the question. Does number 10 Penn State come into Kinnick and keep their undefeated season alive? I'm actually going to say a no in this one, and my decision comes down to the honorary captain. Former Iowa quarterback and legend Ricky Stanzi is one of the most beloved football players in Iowa history, and I will never bet against Ricky Stanzi. So I think it's going to be a close one, but the Hawks, they're going to take it. So that's going to do it for my return to the pregame show. Come on back on Monday to see if I manage to keep my cool with Stanzi at the game. Spoiler, I'm not going to. John, back to you.
Thank you, Lucy. Flying cars used to seem like something you'd only find in Back to the Future, but soon it'll be part of reality. Boeing and Porsche announced that they are partnering to revolutionize the travel industry with flying motor vehicles. While the companies didn't give a target date or price range for their futuristic cars, they hope to change the transportation industry for good. The vehicles will be able to take off and land vertically, so they'll be able to fly right through traffic, literally. Honestly, I wish I had a flying car. Wouldn't be late to class anymore, but that's all I have for you on this Friday morning edition of DITV News. Be sure to head over to dailyiowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday. If that is enough for the Daily Iowan for you, be sure to check out our print edition of the news on stands now. For DITV News, I'm John Chenoweth. Have a great day, Iowa City.